Hey guys, welcome back to the Dion Gaming channel. Now I'm gonna run this as it goes. Basically, this is what's happening in the campaign. It was a 4-hour section campaign. I'm gonna drop it down to a little bit 3 hours, as one of the players, need to go to sleep and so on. So 3-hour section on Sunday and Tuesday, and I'm about to go a little bit of what was actually happening. This would be like maybe a between 12 to 15-minute video, so it shouldn't be as huge as Avatar. This is actually a 4-hour section, so it's going to be condensed and it's going to be a lot of skip. So where we left off, the players wanted to know what is down there and what monster was down there, and basically it was the Aboleth. So what happened is, at one point, the rogue decided to shoot it, the same spot where the other paladin was able to see it. So he used a higher perception. He rolled it like a 23, and I told him, "So you can see where it's at, and you can go ahead and shoot at it." He shot at it. As it goes into the water, it's gonna be a little bit with disadvantage, and it still hit him. And when he did, he actually did damage to it, and because of that, the Aboleth did is one of his lair and sprung them out into the lake and stuff like that, and dropped it into like 20 feet. 15 feet it was, but it technically is 20 feet. They dropped them 50 feet inside the water, and now they have to battle or run away. Now the problem about Aboleth is that it has some disease and stuff like that, but the good news is that two of our characters, our paladin, have immunity to disease. Only one character will be affected, and if you do it before 1 minute, you would be fine to be able to kill this guy. Now it was a very close battle. Now I, for some reason, have shitty rolls in Roll20. Like if I have to roll and Roll20 on a campaign as a player, I think I would be very scared. Because sometimes I roll really low numbers and ones and stuff like that, and I have to show these guys these numbers on Discord so they can see. It's like there's never a fudge roll. I roll it as it is, and I am rolling fucking shitty. So that's probably the reason why no matter what I put in there, I feel like it's gonna be like low roll anyway. Anyway, some of the rolls I did get a 20 on the next one, which is the sword lock, but we'll get into that one once we get into that. So I skipped a little bit of the battle and stuff like that in here, so you guys can get to what was happening. They were wrecking, and they were getting wrecked. If it wasn't for any of the low rolls, I could technically say 2 of them would have died, and the reason that is because you're underwater, you're holding your breath, and if you come off unconscious, you're technically not holding your breath, so you're dead. But they played it well. The two paladins trade with each other with the disadvantage. Both of them have protection, so they were doing disadvantage on at least both of those attacks, which the Aboleth does about 3 attacks in here. And it was using his legendary action to do a tail onto them, like a tail swipe, sweep or something like that, and it was actually hitting them hard. In fact, if we actually scroll down here, Ravina came late into the battle, and didn't get ahead as much, but the other two was getting into the frontal of those hits. And Jesus Christ, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for the literally low shitty rolls that I had on mine, Dagon and Glass Shadow would have died, and it would have been up to Ravina to try to finish the boss off. He didn't, Dagon has a lot of other things in here that he could have went crazy on it, but he didn't. I guess he didn't need it. Could have made it easier. And that's his soldier trinket, which is a homebrew item that allows you to get swing strikes only 2 times prolonged rest as a bonus action. So he actually went for that item instead of the Crimson Ampliator, which I kind of said in a couple videos back. But in the end, they defeated it. That's all that matters. So after they defeated it, and luckily with all those shitty rolls that they didn't die, Glass went for the crystal, Dagon went for the chest, and since Glass took all the crystals, Ravina went all for the treasures, which is about, she took the gold up there, all 3 are gold, which was about 300 gold. He took all the crystal, and then Dagon tried to open the magical chest, and it's also a homebrew chest, which is the only way to technically open the chest is that you need to attack it to a point where it hits 0 and then it opens. However, when you attack it at a certain time, it does reflect your damage in some way, so you actually get hit. The most best strategy I would have thought about of this was they haven't done it. They actually took the chest with them all the way to even another battle, in another area too, even to the Tarvin. They took it all the way out, and they're carrying on it. And the reason that is because none of them decided to like attack it. And even if it reflects some of that damage onto you, you have two paladin that can do lay on hand, and you have a later on the cleric could join in, could seal, and he could have healed it. But none of them actually opened the chest. So in the water, he was getting hit. He dropped to like 1 HP Dagon, and then after that, they decided to bring it up. So they put on the horse, they bring it up, and then after a while in there too, they decided that they tried a lot of things. They tried to like heal the thing, but it reflected back onto them, so they healed themselves and stuff like that. They tried to hit it, maybe tap it, and so on. And so far they didn't win quite into it and try to kill it. It's not a monster or anything like that, but it does have like a certain amount of hit points, so that when it reaches 0, it just opens right automatically. So they decided to actually get the second seal. The seal, I'm not going to reveal that because that would be spoiled. And when they did that, something happened, and basically that forced them to actually like go outside. And when they went outside, they also found out that there are these 3 things lurking, and in every campaign it's going to be different. On the other campaign they didn't have it lurking or anything like that, but in this one they had 3 little orb lurking, and hopefully they actually didn't attack it. So they decided not to, because they were very slow. They were just slowly walking, so they decided to try to run away from it and just flee. And that's actually successful because their speed is very slow. So they went right ahead. If you look at it right now, they're looking at the bottom. And if they actually did not flee, there's something down there that they would have been summoned that they can't see in the screen share of what I'm showing right now. And that would have been catastrophic at their expense, because they are almost out of short slots and long rest slots, all those things. So they decided to go to Warple, which is technically their main quest, and I quite said this before, but some obstacles are being thrown out there to stall them, and at the same time do something like a more of a role play. So I think what's going to happen right now is it's going to be a Tarvin, and I did skip a lot of this right here in the Tarvin, but there was a lot of role playing in here. They were asking questions to each person that was in the Tarvin. They order food, they drink, they if you see any rolls and stuff like that, it's because they were rolling against each other on some things. Like in a social interaction, you're not supposed to do that, but they decided it's like, can we do it like this? And I was like, yeah, if you want to roll against each other on a charisma versus this, on doing something to compel someone to do something, yeah, go right ahead. And they did like that, and they were just having a great time here. Dagon keeps playing his pipe, bagpipe, and basically he's playing it in the most annoying way that it's so many people are compelled to like take it off and try to destroy it or something like that. And basically there was other role plays here where someone actually escaped it, and then when they grabbed them and then they brought them back and stuff like that. So there was a lot of cool role plays in here, and they actually quite like that. However, I want to do more roleplay like that, so I'm gonna try to hold the battle a lot from the other section, which will be on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And the reason that is because this one had the most battle ever, and it was like extremely long. In fact, the tournament for this campaign will have a future section that is designated to be dedicated just for that, just for the tournament, the whole section for the tournament, because the way that I saw the battle that it will come up, it took so long that I said to myself, yeah, these guys will take too long in the tournament and stuff like that, so we're going to make a tournament section only for that. And I'm hoping it more in the future, because I want them to have more fun on the roleplay now. So I think we are going to push it maybe a little bit further. I think I have it like a minute or so. So right now they're technically doing the compelling duel or something like that, or command. Yeah, someone tried to destroy the pipe, and then he tried to command someone to like drop down or don't destroy the pipe and stuff like that. And this has been going on since the beginning, which is kind of like a funny, hilarious thing. Dagon is one of the hilarious character in our group. The way he's doing stuff is just crazy in our group, which is actually fun. So I am very close right here. I'm looking at the timer. We're at 9 minutes and 55 seconds, and we're about to get to the hidden shopkeeper, which I do shorten this. They were able to get a mystical blade, which is very fantastic blade. If for beginner, it would be very fantastic, but on its own, is also fantastic. This is a great sword with a chance of rolling a D100. At a 1, it will destroy itself, but you know, at D100, that's like 1% of you actually trying to get it to destroy it itself. And when it does, what you may call it, when it does roll the other things, it does a +1, +2, +1, +2. 2d6 extra and other things in there, so it's pretty cool. Here they got to one of the areas which was pulling the character inside, and especially Chris. It was pushing the Chris Kevziel right here in the bottom left, bottom right. Sorry, bottom left. Sorry. It was trying to push him into it because it was trying to like ask for help for a compelling duel and stuff like that. So what you're about to see is pretty much that this guy gets hit with all of the statue, and as it does that, it enrages him and basically becomes like Shadow enhanced version of himself, which has its own stat block and so on. And the reason this is because there's something cool mechanic with this boss which I cannot reveal because it will happen again in another campaign, and it will be almost exactly the same way. So I cannot reveal you why he was so important or why it is important to try to defeat it, but you know, they definitely got the chance to defeat it. It was a long battle. I think it was more like an hour battle onto it because again, everybody here is just being challenged separately. So we're rolling all the dices for all the initials of the 4-1, and then everyone is challenging them in a 1v1 duel. So I think it's right now it's going to show it. We're going to get inside. You know, Dagon, Ravina. Let me tell you something. Dagon was still getting hit hard and stuff like that. He still could have taken it, and he did definitely defeated it. Glass was so close in defeating it. Kevziel was doing great. His way of flying up in the air as an Asimir for 1 minute, which is 10 round, while just staying away from the range of it and doing Guardian Spirit and stuff like that onto it, and using something that he didn't know was also vulnerable to this thing. Everything was just being played perfectly for Kevziel. For Ravina, got to the point where my character literally missed 3 times. It does 2 attack, and then on the 3rd one, it does another attack, and then it missed all 3 of them. Let me just say you that. Then she missed both her attacks. Then when it came back around to finish her off, it missed both attack with a 1-1, meaning it got knocked prone, and then it took half speed to get back up. It got knocked prone again and got up his speed back up, and then the last one actually missed the armor class, which at the end she was able to defeat it by rolling a critical roll. It was just straight up massacre after that. So there is something of a mechanic with these bosses, and I'm sorry, I cannot reveal it, but you know, it will do wonders for this group if you're able to actually defeat it. And it's very hard, depending on where you went to get more items and stuff like that. It's really hard. Like right now, I think it would have been a little bit more easier if they were able to open the chest, but they could not open the chest because it's Wind Reflect, and no one has the audacity to just heal themselves through some of the damage and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, maybe they think they're gonna create it and they're gonna kill each other or something like that. I don't think so, but anyway, that will be the end of the video, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.